Back in October of 2022, I bought one of my dream Aussie cars, a 1995 EF XR6. I found it on Facebook Marketplace where it had been listed for quite some time and nobody wanted it. It had been left to rot in a field in country Victoria and I was determined to save it. I brought it back home, got it running, to then quickly find out the gearbox was blown. And after replacing the gearbox, I drove the car around for a few months before taking it off the road to begin the turbo build, something I dreamt about for many years. But as all builds go, things went wrong and it spent the next 3 years left abandoned down the side of my house. In recent weeks, the guilt was eating me up. How could I let this piece of Australian history, the car I wanted so badly all those years ago, let sit rusting away down the side of my house? So I decided to do something about it. And in the last video, I got my EF running and driving for the first time in over 3 years. After 3 long years, the EF drove for the first time in the previous video. And honestly, I was left speechless after that. I couldn't believe that my longest and biggest project ever was almost done. But keyword almost, because as you can see, the car has absolutely no panels on it, no bonnet, no front bar, no guard. And in this video, we are going to be attempting to street tune this thing, which means that we need to make it look a little bit more presentable than it is now. Well, a lot more presentable because this thing doesn't even look like a car. And first on the list was getting the driver's side fender on, as well as the front bumper, which as you can see, needed a little bit of trimming to fit in front of the intercooler. And lastly, the bonnet. And before we get onto any street tuning, first a quick message from the sponsor of today's video. In today's world, it is very unsafe to drive around just in case anything happens. And it brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Vantrue. And in this box, I have Vantrue's brand new Pilot 2 dash cam, which I'm going to install in my mate's ute, which has recently been involved in a hit and run. This is going to work perfectly in his car. The Pilot 2 is the first dash cam with a built-in thermal imaging camera, so it can detect heat signatures from people, animals, or cars, even in complete darkness, fog, or heavy rain. So as you can see, this is my mate's Hilux. It was in a hit and run. He was parked on the side of the road. Guy smashed his mirror off and drove off. If he had a Pilot 2, then he'd be actually able to catch the guy. Let's chuck this in. And it's not just one camera. You're getting a full 4-camera setup. Front road view, interior cabin recording, rear camera, plus that external thermal lens covering everything around you. It also comes with a 6.25-inch touchscreen that acts like a mini infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto built in. You got high-res recording, Wi-Fi 6 for fast file transfers, up to 1 terabyte storage support, parking mode, and even driver fatigue alerts built in. Honestly, it's less like a dash cam and more like a full safety upgrade for your car. So this dash cam is perfect for people who do a lot of country driving where the roads aren't very lit. I feel like I'm in a submarine. Now we'll just switch over to the other screen. So this is recording the front of the car. Very clear. It's almost like daylight. That's the inside. There are 4 possible cameras that could catch someone sideswiping a mirror, which my mate would have been perfect at the time. But now he has this. I want to give Vantrue a massive shout out for sponsoring today's video. And just a quick mention, the Pilot 2 is still in its Kickstarter phase, but I'm going to leave Vantrue's link in the description below. So go show them some love because it's companies like them that are able to make builds like this possible. But anyways, back to the EF. We are taking the EF on its first ever drive. On public roads, yes, on public roads, it's registered. Bit of a safety precaution, the pin's already pulled, I don't know why that is. Ollie is here, he's gonna be on the laptop doing things that I don't understand. Hello, Ollie!
I don't know what I'm doing either.
Ollie! I'm nervous. It's got no alignment. It's got a subframe that I welded in and bolted into the car. Guess we'll see how it goes. All right, maiden voyage. Ollie's doing something. What do you think? I've been bullied for the past 3 years for not having this car on the road.
You deserve every bit of it.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Just a little bit of a recap. This car has had every nut and bolt turned on it. The subframe is out of an AU. I welded that in. The motor is put together by me and Ollie. And yeah, so I have no idea how it's gonna go. We have a fire extinguisher, so we're as safe as we can possibly be, but it's got a brand new clutch, brand new brakes. I honestly don't know. I don't even know if it'll drive straight.
Hey, who installed this?
Off, idiot. Seatbelt still works, man. Look at that. It feels weird to be back in this car. I don't own any Fords anymore. This is my only Ford now, so it better be good. Otherwise, I'm giving it away to one of you guys.
Your parkers are...
Do I have any headlights?
No.
No.
None.
First problem, no headlights. Alright, we're off. Somehow it is driving. The alignment's not actually that bad. The steering wheel is on the piss, but it drives straight, no hands. We've just been dialing in like partial throttle drivability stuff because the clutch is brand new. We do need to bed it in a little bit. It is some hectic ceramic sprung thing, but so far it drives mint. I'm really surprised. The suspension is very horse and carriage like because it's always been like that, but it's not bad. Like even the alignment, the steering wheel is on the piss, but it drives straight, which is good. That means my subframe job isn't total garbage. Should I give it a go?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. What was that? Hear that turbo spooling. Nice. I'm gonna try one pull just to see when the gate cracks open. I don't know what spring is in it, but let's give it a go. Second gear. Alright, you ready?
Stay in it longer.
I don't know if that was the clutch or the tires.
Did you feel slip?
I don't know.
4 PSI.
4 PSI. Fuck, I don't know if that's the clutch or the fucking tire spinning.
I don't think anything's spinning.
Maybe it's just that smooth.
Yeah.
That's just the no timing.
Yeah. It's 4 pound as well.
4 pound. Wow, the gate sounds awesome.
Yeah. That's 4 pounder boost with like 0 timing, so we don't have any knock ears on this.
Yeah, good. Ollie did a good job.
We do not want detonation.
No, I can't hear any spark knocks, so it should be alright. Alright, one more.
Okay. Up the duty cycle.
Wow. Right, it's already quicker than the stock DF, so it's already a win.
Yeah, that's 0 timing, 0 boost, and it feels great.
It feels awesome. Very smooth, it doesn't break up at all.
No.
I'm letting Rex have a drive. This is 5 PSI, no timing.
I'm kind of scared to feel this thing with 10.
Oh my, it'll be more than 10.
I just did a pull just then. Oh,
Do one here. Holy crap.
moves, bro.
That's not bad. That's actually not bad.
That's pretty damn good.
This is going to be on ethanol with well over 10 pounds. Just FYI.
I'm just scared of the gearbox.
No, you're not clicking gears. Should be alright.
T5 glass transmission, man.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sounds fucking great.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
It's so
Sick.
ticky, man.
Yeah, it will be ticky. It's a ticky Ford, mate. It sounds, it's still got that Intake sound, but when it gets on gate, it doesn't sound like an Intake at all. Wow. It's actually surreal seeing that thing driving.
Not bad,
After
boys.
three and a half years almost.
People always be talking shit about AE Falcons and their motors.
Yeah.
They don't know what's up.
$300 motor, and it's got a cam and valve springs.
300 kilowatts.
Yep, hopefully. So since the EF ran so beautifully on 98, we're gonna switch it to E85 now. So what I have here is a contraption. We have the return line connected to this hose, which is going to a jerry. And then we're gonna go get some E85 and put it in. All right, go for it. There we go. 98. This is getting donated to Ollie for his gets.
That's a joke.
Bit rich.
Hey.
Smells like E. Oh yeah. It's like diluted. So somehow the car is running better on E85 than 98. Like it revs out way smoother, smells better. It's way more responsive as well. Now I've got two cars on ethanol. How'd you get it so good, Ollie?
Magic.
Drives way better. Way better. It's like you've wound in like 20 degrees of timing into the thing. So just with a little bit of road tuning, this thing feels way better, much more responsive. So I'll do a bit of a pull now. Play into it. Holy shit! Spun the tires.
Not fucking bad. We need to warm them up.
Wow. Tell me, man.
Yeah.
Well, it straightens out here. Holy shit, this thing is so fast now.
That's fucked.
Holy crap, how much boost is that?
I wasn't watching the boost. Do it again there.
Oh yeah, why not? Oh, we got headlights now, by the way.
Well, we know the AFRs are good, so again.
AFRs are good?
Yeah.
Alright, sweet. And the clutch is holding.
Yeah.
Alright. Ready, set, go.
£7.
7 pound, and it's this quick.
That's fucked.
Holy shit, bro. What's it gonna be like at 10 or 15?
That's silly. Alright, let's go inside and turn it up.
Holy crap, bro.
That fucking moves.
That was all wheel spin. How is it this much of a difference between 98 and ethanol?
It's big. Well, we've got a little bit more. We don't even have Nokias on it, so we're still very conservative too.
Yeah, you're rich, right?
Yeah, rich.
With like little to no timing.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm in charge of tuning, and Ollie is gonna take it for his.
Anything over 0.8 boost.
Okay. Holy shit, bro! That just fried the tires off. Bro, what the hell? .7. That does not sound like an Intake. That is actually a very pleasant noise. yes, I like. The gate sounds crispy and smooth, not like my SR20 back at home. Sounds like a didgeridoo. Overall, the Falcon was a huge success. It tuned up beautifully on both 98 and E85, more so on the E85. It's still very rough around the edges, but that's kind of how I like it. I like it looking a bit rough and a little bit raggedy, but then you pop the bonnet and you see that beautiful intake in there with a turbo strap to the side of it. There's still a few things I need to button up, like with the suspension. It is absolutely garbage. It's on bump stops in the rear, and the front suspension, because it has a lock kit, needs a lot of fine tuning. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.